He was invisible to them. Every day he walked through the marbled halls of Belmont Academy with a mop in one hand and silence in the other. No one knew his name. No one cared. To the students, he was just the janitor. But Mr. Samuel had a secret, one that echoed in the deepest corners of his soul. He once had music in his veins. It was a Friday afternoon, the sun casting long golden rays through the stained glass windows of the Academy's music hall. Most students had gone home for the weekend, except for a few staying behind for rehearsals. Samuel, in his usual navy overalls, entered the hall with his cart, intending only to mop the polished floors. That's when he saw it, the grand piano on the stage. It wasn't just any piano. It belonged to her, Amelia Sterling, the daughter of multi-millionaire Robert Sterling, and the school's prodigy pianist. She had performed in international competitions, graced the covers of classical music magazines, and her talent was spoken of with awe. The Sterling piano, as the students mockingly called it, was never to be touched. It was sacred. Samuel didn't plan to do it, but something pulled him. Maybe it was the way the light hit the black lacquer, or maybe it was the memory of his wife's laughter, the one he used to accompany on piano years ago, before life, cancer, and death silenced his music. He looked around. No one. Carefully, he placed his mop against the wall and walked toward the stage. His rough fingers, calloused from years of scrubbing floors, trembled as he lifted the lid. For a moment, he just stared. Then, unable to resist, he sat down. His fingers hovered, then fell. The music began, soft, hesitant at first, like a bird unsure if it should fly. Then bold, strong, and sorrowful, a sonata of memories and loss, of love that was once, and a dream that never truly died. The hall echoed with a haunting melody that rose and fell like the tide. But Samuel wasn't alone. Amelia stood behind the heavy velvet curtain, her breath caught in her throat. She had come back to grab her sheet music but froze when she heard the notes. At first, she thought someone was playing a recording. No one else played like that. When she peeked out and saw the janitor at her piano, anger flared. But then, she listened. She heard the pain in the notes, the kind of emotion her father's private tutors never taught her to feel. The way his fingers danced, not with precision, but with passion. And suddenly, Amelia was no longer angry. She was in awe. Samuel finished with a soft flourish, breathing heavily, his eyes glistening. He stood up quickly, horrified at what he'd done. He turned around, and froze. Amelia stepped forward slowly, her face unreadable. "Where did you learn to play like that?" she asked, her voice low. He looked down. "A long time ago, before life happened, you touched my piano. I'm sorry, Miss Sterling. I shouldn't have." "No," she interrupted. "You didn't just touch it. You awakened it." A silence fell. Then, softly, she said, "Will you teach me?" He stared at her, stunned. "Teach you? I've been playing notes. You played a story. I want to learn that." And so began an unlikely bond. In the following weeks, Amelia insisted on staying after classes. She told no one. Samuel, hesitant at first, agreed to teach her. Not the scales or the perfect posture. Her elite tutors already drilled that into her, but how to play with heart. They spoke little, but the music spoke for them. As Amelia's playing changed, so did she. She smiled more. She asked Samuel questions about his life, his past, his wife. She even brought him coffee and fixed his broken watch. For the first time, someone saw him. Really saw him. Then came the annual Belmont Gala. It was the most prestigious event at the school. Parents, media, sponsors, all gathered to witness the best talents. Amelia was the final act. Everyone waited with anticipation. She stepped onto the stage in a blue silk gown, but instead of sitting down, she took the mic. "I want to share something tonight. A lesson, a gift. I met a man who reminded me what music truly is. He's not a teacher, or a judge, or a performer. He's the janitor." Gasps filled the room. "He taught me to play with heart. And now, I'd like to ask him to join me." In the back of the hall, Samuel stood frozen, mop in hand. His heart pounded. "Mr. Samuel, will you please?" The spotlight shifted. All eyes turned. He shook his head slowly, terrified. But Amelia smiled and nodded gently. And so, with trembling steps, he walked forward. Past whispers, past stares, past years of being unseen. He sat beside her. The duet began. It was unlike anything anyone had heard. Amelia's technical brilliance met Samuel's soulful storytelling. Their music soared, wept, and embraced the entire hall. By the time the last note faded, there wasn't a single dry eye. Silence. Then, thunderous applause. People stood. Some cried. Even Robert Sterling, Amelia's distant and stern father, clapped with misty eyes. From that day on, everything changed. Samuel was no longer just the janitor. The school offered him a part-time position as a music mentor. His story was published in local papers. And Amelia, she chose emotion over perfection, and won the international competition with a piece co-written by them both. But more than fame or recognition, Samuel found something else, purpose. And Amelia, she found a friend, a teacher, and the true meaning of music.